Today we shall discuss about some important terms related with hydrogeology. Hydrogeology is the science of the occurrence, distribution and movement of water below the surface of the earth. Hydro means water and geology means the study of earth. It is the area of geology that deals with the distribution and movement of groundwater in the soil and rocks of the Earth's crust, commonly in aquifers. Groundwater is the water present beneath Earth's surface in rock and soil pore spaces and in the fractures of rock formations. So, groundwater is a water found in the cracks and spaces in soil, sand, and rock. It is stored in and moves slowly through geological formations of soil, sand, and rocks called aquifers. A unit of rock or an unconsolidated deposit is called an aquifer when it can yield a usable quantity of water. The depth at which soil pore spaces or fractures and voids in rock becomes completely saturated with water is called the water table. So we have three important terms here: groundwater, aquifer and water table. So groundwater is the water that fills cracks and other openings in beds of rocks and sand. Aquifer is an underground layer of water bearing permeable rock or rock fracture or unconsolidated materials like gravel, sand, and silt. And water table is the upper surface of the zone of saturation. We cannot talk about hydrogeology without mentioning about hydrologic cycle. So, hydrologic cycle describes the continuous movement of water on, above, and below the surface of Earth. The water moves from one reservoir to another, such as from river to ocean or from ocean to the atmosphere, by the physical processes like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, infiltration, surface runoff, etc. Now let's see aquifers in detail. An aquifer is a collection of water underneath the surface large enough to be used in a spring or a well. Aquifers can be unconfined, where the top of the aquifer is defined by the water table, or confined, where the aquifer exists underneath a confining bed. An aquifer is a layer of porous substrate that contains and transmits groundwater. So, an aquifer is basically a body of permeable rock which can contain or transmit groundwater. So, this is a schematic diagram of an aquifer. You can see the unconfined aquifer. The top of unconfined aquifer is defined by the water table. We can see the unconfined aquifer by means of wells and springs. You can also see a confined aquifer in this diagram, which is present between two confining beds. These confining beds are layers of impermeable materials, causing the confined aquifer to be under pressure. So here the travel time of groundwater is also marked from one point to another. So it takes days or years or centuries for groundwater to travel from one point to another. So to cross a confining bed, water takes centuries or millennia. Related terms include aquitad, which is a bed of low permeability along an aquifer, and aquiclude or aquifuge, which is solid impermeable area underlying or overlaying an aquifer, the pressure of which could create a confined aquifer. So the confining beds above and below the confining aquifer is called aquiclude. An aquitad is a zone within the earth that restricts the flow of groundwater from one aquifer to another. An aquitad can sometimes If completely impermeable, be called aquiclude or aquifage. So, aquiclude is having comparatively less permeability than aquitard. Aquicludes form the confining bed, the pressure of which could create confined aquifers. Aquiclude can be sometimes completely impermeable. Aquitads are composed of layers of either clay or non-porous rock with a low hydraulic conductivity or low permeability. Now let's see the classification of aquifers. As already mentioned, the most important one is unconfined and confined aquifers. Unconfined aquifers are sometimes also called water table or phreatic aquifers because their upper boundary is the water table or phreatic surface. The water table is also called phreatic surface. It does not have a confining layer. That is, it is not confined between two confining bed layers, whereas confined aquifers exist underneath a confining bed. Confined aquifers are aquifers that are overlain by a confining layer often made up of clay, that is an impermeable layer. The confining layer might offer some protection from surface contamination. So unconfined aquifers are often prone to surface contamination. Due to the presence of confining beds, confined aquifers are protected from surface contamination. So the next classification is isotropic and anisotropic aquifers. In isotropic aquifers or aquifers layers, the hydraulic conductivity is equal for flow in all directions. So the water flows in all directions equally in isotropic aquifers, whereas in anisotropic aquifers it differs notably in horizontal and vertical sense. So in anisotropic aquifers, the flow of water is not equal in all the directions, especially in horizontal and vertical directions. So the next classification of aquifers are based on the rock bed, the characteristics of rock bed. So based on that, there are three types of aquifers: porous, karst or fractured. Porous aquifers typically occur in sand and sandstone. As the name says, the bed rock is porous, having a reasonably high porosity and has a low grain to grain permeability with its good water yielding characteristics, mostly due to microfracturing and fissuring. So porous beds can yield water easily due to microfracturing and fissuring. Fissuring is nothing but the formation of narrow cracks. Karst aquifers typically develop in limestone. So limestone is the bedrock. Surface water containing natural carbonic acid moves down into small fissures in limestone. So due to the presence of carbonic acid, limestones create cracks or cracks are formed in limestone. This carbonic acid gradually dissolves limestone, thereby enlarging the fissures. So the formed cracks are enlarged. The enlarged fissures allow a larger quantity of water to enter, which leads to a progressive enlargement of openings. Abundant small openings store a large quantity of water. The larger openings create a conduit system that drains the aquifer to springs. The third type is fractured. If a rock unit of low permeability is highly fractured, it can make a good aquifer via fissure flow, provided the rock has a hydraulic conductivity sufficient to facilitate the movement of water. So these three are the classification based on the property of bedrock. So these are the most important terms related with hydrogeology for today.